Okay people, so let's finally get started on converting the X5. This video is going to be the bumper. I have other conversions on it. You'll see if you follow along what it's going to look like in the end. But today's bumper, the build of the bumper, it's an all custom bumper. It'll take a little while, so first bumper off and then we go into it, and over time I have to stitch this video together, so don't mind if I have different outfits, different hairstyles, beard, no beard, whatever, because it takes some time to make something custom like that if you don't have a shop, if you don't work on it all day long. So I'm just weekending this here as I go, but I still want to show you, just in case you want to do it yourself. I'm also going to go over the materials I use and about roughly where I place any holes or whatnot. It's my first time making a custom bumper, so let's see how that turns out. First thing, of course, gotta remove the bumper. You have 1, 2 8mm screws here. Also on the other side, of course. You have the cover down here. It's either 8 or 10. Just I think it's 5 screws on the front. That is, if you still have all of them. Then we remove the cover here. It's a little cutout. You remove that cover. There's another like 8 or 10, and the same over here. If you have park distance control, what your cable, same on the other side, of course. Then you have underneath here, if I'm correct. Let's take a look. There is one, and there's probably another one. There's another one. There are, I guess, a total of 4. I assume it's 10mm. It's all 10 or 8. And then you have under here, when I open the hood, I'll show you left and right. There's a little tab with a little, either 8 or 10. Then you can just pull the bumper off. Watch your fog light connectors. You take them off before you take the bumper off completely. And that's it. So let's take that off first. First of all, this is your crash bar. Of course, that would be replaced with my tubes. You see they go on here, 2, and there are gonna be 2 underneath. You can see one there on the other side also. This bar is also attached on the outer sides here. I actually expected a connector for the park distance control somewhere. So I just have to tuck the cables away somewhere. I don't want to cut them because I want to be able to go back to it. So I will have to manufacture something for the horns. I want to attach them still somewhere. Don't want to get rid of them. Would have to, of course, delete the air duct down here. And then the fender liner here, I would probably cut it somewhere up there because I don't want to delete the entire thing. Yeah, this is a one-piece liner, so it goes all the way around. There is no seam, unfortunately. So either I delete the entire thing or just cut it partially. In here I also have the temperature gauge. I want to keep that thing. Also would have to take out this thing. And I would also take out the receiver here for the bumper. You can probably clip it out carefully. So I guess first gonna disconnect all the connectors here. Take the wire off the crash bar and also the horns. Remove that. I'm gonna take the crash bar off. Maybe take this one out also, so I can just get the first measures and line up the center, and I'm gonna go from there. So now front bumper, front crash bar, all out of the way. Now we see what we're working with. This is the plate on both sides that will carry the entire bumper, making the adapter plates come out here and getting the pipes in here. I'm gonna go 2 on the top, 1 at the bottom, because you see this one here would be deleted as well, together with the undercover there, which is fine. But it means I need a tube down here to protect the radiator package, of course. So you can see the starts about 5.5 inches vertically and about a little less than 4, almost 3/4. What is this? 5/8, something like that, left to right. So just gonna make a little punch template and then make plates. The way I will do this, I have 2 of these, 1 for each side. I think this is a 1/8 of an inch. Gonna slap that on here, of course cut it to size, have the holes in here, that will be a template. I want this closed, I don't want to leave it open. So this will sit on here. So of course just be a lock plate. I have these here, these big boys. This is a 1/4 inch and this is a little edge here to drill the holes and mount it. I will have to cut away a ton of material, but I'd rather have a little too much than a little bit too less. Give you a little update. See these plates on here, they're a little bit oversized, but that's because I didn't know initially how far back the frame horns are. I have another smaller plate behind there, I think I showed you earlier. Now I just want to weld it here and the upper one also. And then of course all the way around, wherever I can reach it, just so they keep geometry on both sides. I got a gap somewhat to the same space. And now you can already see up here, I mounted the left side first and I was holding the pipe to where I wanted to be and just circled and marked it. And now I'm gonna use that as a starting point. We'll have the second one like a 1/2 inch gap, just right here. For those of you who care, just some measures in case you want to do it yourself. These plates, they are 1/4 inch thick. They are 20 by 15 and 2 inch are angled off, so it's like 13 long now. But as you can see, you don't need that much. I would go with 12 still to save a little bit of material and some money. Got 4 of those. I drilled the holes in here, my pipes. I decided to go with 1/3/4 inch diameter and the wall thickness is 1/8 of an inch. This hole is 1 7/8. So you have some play. It's because you have 1 hole on each. If you line the 4, you want to have some play to be able to adjust it. So I went a little bit bigger on it. Works out great because the bottom one barely fits, but it'll work and it's straight. Got my holes in now. Let's put the pipes and see where we stand. So here you have the pipes in. Like said, pipes are 1 3/4 diameter and thickness is 1/8 of an inch. Strong enough. And they are 3 feet long for, you know, for starters, which is a good length. I like it. I've just a little bit left over to work with. And they're actually level and parallel. So that is a success. That's one of the biggest steps. The next one after welding, of course, is the sides and the plate for the front and then the hoop. Oh yeah, and it does appear that I did screw up my headlamps. I guess from the drilling, the hard pieces may have melted it a little bit, at least melted the coating. I want to open them anyway. I have something planned for the headlights. The lens has to come off anyway. Let's continue, I guess. So you see my fitment here on the hood. Hood is closed right now. It is really on point, but also really tight, and I would say a little bit too tight. Because when you close to it, just slam it down, it will contact. If you just push on it, the top, if you put it in, you see, it'll contact. But a good thing is, that usually doesn't happen in normal use of the car, and knowing that, you close the hood gentle and just push it down instead of slamming it down, and it's all good. And just in case that it rattles or does contact, while driving later on, I could still just bend over this lip a little bit, because there is some space behind it before it touches the kidneys, and that would give it more clearance. So with the center pipes all welded up, it's not cut to shape yet. These are the other pipes. And of course you need 4, because I need 4. I have 2 in the top, so I have need 2 on each side. I have them bent at 45 degrees, and then you have the bottom ones, the low ones that come out of the bottom pipe. They will come out here, they will connect to the lower top one when it angles over. So those I got bent at about 65 to 70 degrees, it's about right in between there. As for dimensions, of course, the same pipe. It is 1 3/4 outer diameter, 1/8 wall thickness, length. You can pretty much go with about, I think I took 40 for the most. 40, 35 inch in length would also work. It gives you enough to work with. For the bottom ones, I think that's 35, and the top one I went with 55, just to have enough material left over to work with. So the bumper guides on the side, they come out somewhat easily. Ideally you remove the little cover in the front here. Facelifts don't have that, and if you have a pre-facelift, it's probably broken anyway, just like mine. And then it's just sitting like there. You just have to push these 2 tabs together and it comes out. You have to carefully wiggle it out and that's it. As to removing the wheel liner, not that easy, because it actually riveted into the wheel arch here. So I'm probably just gonna take it up, take the wheel off, and carefully cut it on the car. And it is what it is. So on the other side, I took off without even removing the cover here. You can just, you know, carefully massage it out. Wheel liner is gone, partially at least. I kept the top part because I don't want all the dirt flying around too much. So I did angle these pieces here, and the pipe, I have 1 pipe that's already ready. It's going to go on here, something like this on there, about, and like this here. So that's what it's going to look like. Of course there's a gap in here, but that's because the car is curved and I'm not curving these pipes. So this piece is 30-inch wide, and I made 3 sections of 4 inch in height, and I angled it at about 20 degrees. That worked with my geometry here. However, it was all somewhat, life is life. The holes, they are 2 inch in diameter, and the dimple tool is a 2 inch. So the dimple tool that I got is from Specialty Products, and I ordered it on AutoZone. It's important to keep in mind that the diameter, they say the 2 inch is the whole diameter. So that's this one here, or here, the inner one. I wanted to know the outer one because I actually wanted my dimple to be 3.5 inch, but that wouldn't work. So I had to go with these 2 inch, even though I want to go a little bit closer. However, then the tool doesn't fit, you see. On the back side, it would overlap with my crease here. I think I can live with that. Dimples look quite nice. I'm gonna dimple the rest of them and then continue. Also, you see the sides are already on, just missing the hoops for the bottom, so I can get the light in here also. So there are the dimples. Doesn't look too bad. I went with the Specialty Products tool because the dimple it gives me, it's a little nicer, it's a little more straight in. I've seen a lot of tools that punch the hole and make the dimple in one move, but the dimple they make, it's just fairly like diving down. It's just like yeah, like not nice. This is like an angle to it, you can see. So it is somewhat wider and smooth transitioning into versus just super diving down. The tool is just these two dies. This stuff here that I used came out of this tool. Part number is here. This tool is to install the rear subframe bushings, total of 4, on the E53. So I got lucky that it fits. I have to do that also somewhere, that's why I have the tool here. And I made it work together with this die set. If you don't have that, you'd have to get a at least 2-inch wide plate to cover, and of course a spindle. And if anyone wants the tool, because I obviously don't need it anymore, I'm done with this, just shoot me a message. Just finished some of the last details, just like the holder for the lights. How I did that is, on the rear side I had a 90-degree angle. I just made a cut into the pipe, push it in, and close it off there. Now I can put my light on there. Structure is finished, everything's on there. Now just cleaning it up. Already started cleaning up the welds here. Just gotta clean up, of course, here. It's gonna be the hardest part, and get it ready for paint. And for paint, since I'm short on time and since I have bare metal, I'm gonna use this primer. And I'm gonna use like a gloss black enamel. So I just sanded the bumper. It's wire brush and then sandpaper. Not too fine, you know, just want to get the dirt off. You could see some marks from some of the pipes. Now they're all nice. I guess I'm gonna go over these here again. A little glossy, just want to make sure the paint holds properly. So just with any paint job, you want to make more thinner layers. You can see, maybe you can't see, but there are a couple of runners down here. It's on the inside. That's why I wanted to hang it this way. If I have any runners there to the back where you can't see them anyway. Also, this is primer. It will be coated in black afterwards. So let's have a look. That's the first coat. Of course, there are some paint too much here, some too little there, but it's the first coat. Just want to give you an idea what to expect. See also all the speckles in here because I'm using a spray can, but this is a primer, so final color will be the same, just in black. You can see here there's no real primer yet there, but then there's way too much here and here. Same thing underneath here. Here you have all the speckles, and underneath here I guess I haven't really reached it yet. So it's very uneven. It's to be expected. There's some runner inside there, not ideal. This is pretty poor also, but they gotta get a feel for the paint, for the consistency and the temperature that they're working at. So we had some corrections here. I do not want those. Fill them up again. It looks pretty poor. It will probably take at least 3 layers to kind of get it a solid white coat. Gotta take your time on here. A cure time about 15 to 30 minutes. It should dry to the touch, but again, it might be dry here where it's thin. It's not going to be dry down there where it's thick. I'm going to give it half an hour to wait, and then I'm going to put another layer on it. It says to apply another coat within 1 hour or after, I think, 24 or 48 hours. So you have that work window. I'm going to get everything done today. Probably 3 layers of white primer and then black until it is evenly covered, and I'm happy with that. That it will stay here for probably 2 days until it's really dry, and then I have to just touch up this nose up there. So that's the plan, and that's the status right now. So there you have it. I just finished my coats. The black itself went way better than the primer. Once the paint is dry, I take this down, finish primering, and then finish it off. Then it's ready for install. I used 2 cans of the bare metal primer or clear metal primer and 2 of the gloss black enamel. You hear my shoes sticking. That's from the overspray. The garage is a little bit messed up right now, but it's what it is. So here's the bumper, finally finished painting. It's just tacked on, not even tightened, but you can't tell the difference. Missing the light still, but the first look, it's pretty dope. Looks pretty factory almost. So a word to the wiring. The Hella 500 kit came with 2 lights and a wiring harness and stuff. It's right here. Why is it here, not in the car? These bulbs are 55 watts and the original are also 55. So it's the same load, same resistance. What I ended up doing, the positive, I just connected to the positive on the original connector. You cannot see it, I tucked it away so it's out of sight. And the ground, I just connected to itself, to the holder here, that is grounded out with the bumper and the frame. So only 1 wire going out. So I'm now inside the vehicle. I still have to code off the park distance control for the front. I'm using PA Soft, PDC, separate module, park distance control. Let's try the recoding. So these are the sensors up here. 3 converters, 8 converters means front and rear. 4 is usually just the rear. And then you have nothing alternative. If we change it to 4, indeed that does the trick. Because without the sensors on or an interruption in your front harness or any problem there, you will, when you turn on the park distance control, either by the button or by putting it in reverse, it will give you a long beep. And basically it tells you it's not active. Because it has a problem there, it cannot give any reliable signals, information to you. So it will not operate. That is done. So just try and see what happens here, shall we? Turning it off. And now I'm turning it back on. Fine. And there are no warnings. Park distance control. No problem. We didn't pick up on camera, but it does beep. Of course, I have to confirm that again. But that is it. That's the coding. And also because I had the battery disconnected, this is in Fahrenheit again, which I don't like. So just do this right away also. Just need both hands for this. I have to kind of fiddle my phone in here somehow. Anyway, in short, what I'm doing, I'll turn it off. Now it's off. I push and hold the left button and then I turn the key onto the position 1. That's position 1, this comes on. You wait until the miles come back, then you turn it back off. Then you take your finger off the button and it should set to Fahrenheit. So I just did that off camera because I don't have enough hands. Now it's Celsius. And there it is. Finished. Bumper is on. That's one of the big projects for this car. There are more to come to complete the look of it. Some are suspension, some are aesthetics. This has been a bigger project than my usual videos, mostly because I'm not a welder. I've been dreading metalwork for the longest time. Cutting and so is fine, but welding I just never had to do it. My dad is a welder, that's why I never really had to, and even when I was away I always knew people that could weld. But this time was exactly the same because my dad actually welded this bumper together while he was on his extended vacation here. Guys, I know I'm jumping into the future right now, but this bumper has been on the car for about 2 months and it's the second time it's been hit. First time was just a small scratch. I think this one here was the first time and now it's completely, the entire art is scratched, even down here. Like, come on, people. The good thing is, that would have been my painted bumper, my OEM bumper, which, again, I would have had the damage, I would have had to pay it. Also, you can probably see this scratch on here. It was a little windy and a umbrella fell onto it. So, like, come on. Might as well just get a tank. There's so much crap. People, how do you not see this? At least this doesn't bother me much here right now. So to fix it, I just scuffed it up with some Scotch-Brite. And I just put 2 coats on there. Nothing fancy. Just touching up the damages that's been done to it. Let it dry overnight, then it should be good again. But there you have it. Just for you guys, of course for me. Just freshened it all up. Put 2 layers on it. Looks nice and new again. That's it for today. For this customization here. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna see you on the next video. Just for the fun of it, quick start.